it really takes literally a village. More it takes a village to
it
raise
takes
a
a
child.
community.
It takes a community to raise a forest because it's not really also one farmer who does it.
It's a whole. Sometimes it's a whole barangay.
Yes.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the RAFI Heart to Heart podcast, your space to catch inspiring real life stories told straight from the heart. I'm Liz, and welcome to our fourth episode of the RAFI Heart to Heart. Welcome mga plantitos, plantitas, atong mga katribo. This is a very exciting episode. If you haven't followed us on our different socials, on Spotify, on Facebook, on our YouTube page, make sure to follow us now so that you can leave a comment and also leave suggestions what we should be talking about next time. So make sure you follow on the spaces here below so that we can be in touch. So for this episode, we have a very, very important topic. It's a very important topic that's close to me, close to my colleague who will talk about it more, and also very close to Rafi. We've been doing this for the last more than 20 years, working on biodiversity conservation. This is a topic that we're all close to. We're all living on the planet Earth. So this is something that we should all be listening in today. The conservation and the conversation about planet Earth and also its deterioration and the challenges that we're facing right now have been a very long-standing topic. No, this is something that we've been talking about for quite some time, and we're facing climate change. We're seeing the changes that the planet is facing, and more than anything, I'm reminded as we continue talking about biodiversity conservation, climate change, I am reminded of one of the environmental principles that we were taught back in school, that ours is a finite earth, which means that all natural resources that we have and enjoy is not infinite. Naadji limit, na timelines. So, and if we don't take care of that, and if we don't take care of our habitat, we will soon suffer the deadlines and the wrath if we do not take care of our earth. But before we go deeper into this very compelling and interesting topic, and more earth-shattering topic about our planet, I'd like to introduce a very good friend of mine who has been in RAFI, in the Ramona Boitis Foundation, for quite some time, and has really left her roots in the foundation, literally in the foundation. She is our plantation management supervisor of RAFI's biodiversity conservation program called 123. And we are very happy and excited to have Nenya Okay with us. Hi, Nenya.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Liz. Hello, mga katribo. Good to be here.
Yay, thank you. Again, mga katribo, if you're here listening in, we're very excited to have you with us. Mga katribo, these are our biodiversity champions.
Yeah.
So if you're a biodiversity champion, you are one of our katribos.
Good.
So I'm very excited to talk to you, Nenya. Kanang daghan jud kaayo ang kailangan na ituki pag discuss about biodiversity conservation and the challenges we face, and more importantly, the things that we can do together to help our habitat.
Yeah.
I think one of the greatest challenges, and I think we should go straight on to the topic that we're talking about. One of the greatest challenges that the world is facing is climate change. And I think we've been seeing this every day.
Yeah.
If you see how the climate is now reacting.
More in Cebu, kay we're an island. Diba?
Yes, and we feel that, I think very recently before we recorded, we already had a very close call to one big super typhoon.
Yes.
So climate is changing, the way the seasons are reacting and how things are happening locally, in our country, it constantly changes. We get more typhoons, more rain, and I'm sure that we all feel that. And in the Philippines, according to the Institute of Economics and Peace, in a report by them in 2019, the Philippines is one of the most at risk of climate change, and we feel that. No, I'm sure our farmers also feel that,
and
yeah,
even fisherfolk,
and also
the unprotected climate pattern. So, if for the fisher folk na, when is the time na dapat mangisda, dili na nila mabuhat.
Yeah.
So, it's very saddening kay sila mismo instead, wala sila source of income.
Right,
And very
right.
sila gid ang naasa below the line na affected for this.
Right. And I like what you said that it affects how they fish, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So una kung nasa sila schedule karon kay more unpredictable
Yeah.
kaayo. And this goes to the I have kodigo no syempre important jud kay na data. Ang giingon sa Philippines Country Climate Development Report pag 2022 na because climate change constantly affects us and our different communities, farmers, fisher folk, the fishing community, or us, no, as
All
people
of us.
who go to the offices or who implement projects or do work. Apparently, if we constantly feel climate change, this really affects our economic activities. It affects also our infrastructure. It affects
Correct.
our buildings kung maguba tungod sa typhoon, or it affects our farming communities because it affects their land.
Yeah.
So-
they don't even know when to plant right now. Kay before we know when is the planting season. But right now, no. Kay sometimes ang expected nila when is habagat labi na pag mountain areas. And most of our partners are on the boundary lines sa
Yes.
mga transboundary of different municipalities. So sa una, they plant on June, July. But right now, they don't know kung kanus agad sila dapat mananom og mais,
yeah.
kanus asa magpugas og different type of vegetables. Kay affected gid kay sila.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's a nice thing to note because usahay mo ingon natag ka ng climate change is about natural disasters
Yeah.
because we feel that, but it affects a bigger there are bigger implications of climate change because it affects economic activities, how you said. So, and it's not just the natural related disasters, but really the challenges and the disasters that we also face in
Correct.
terms of our economic activities. Which brings me, ikaw as someone who has been in the industry working very closely with farmers, with our communities, and as a forester, no, a
Yeah.
professional forester, no, you see these things firsthand with our
Correct.
communities. How would you, and you've already talked about this a little bit, kay excited gyud tayo mo, chika, I love this. Pero ikaw, based sa imong experience, how would you define climate change in the context no, of our communities, and how are we here, our communities that we're serving in Cebu? I know that we're also in Davao and in Batangas. How are these communities affected because of climate change?
So working in a community where everyone is mura bitog dili kaayo siya nato dali-dali makita, it's because people who work in the city kay okay, we have monthly income, but for those people na fisher folk, farmers na they don't have the opportunity, they only have the natural resources. So fisher folk goes fishing, farmers goes farming, pero little that we know that everything kay a sudden shift of climate, a sudden shift of kalit mo ulan, kalit mo init, it really affects them in not that just the only person, the entire family. Sometimes it's not just about family of 4. Usually pag farmers, fisher folk, it's a family of 7, 8 or
Yes.
10 members of the family. Imagine that na as simple as that. So ang what we do, some of the projects, it's not also easy nga mura bitaw mag-dole out even though we are in a developmental organization. So we don't want na to give them na sige, this is our help. So all our initiatives are partnership. So
Right.
they have the sense of ownership of what we do. So sometimes as simple as tree growing na